You're not seriously mentioning them in a game of the year.
They got Persona 5 DLC content in there now. It just launched today.
Hello and welcome. My name is Alex Gonzalez. With me today is my good old friend, Jay Yee.
Hey, that's me.
And please remember that we are not game devs. How are you doing today, Jay?
Doing all right.
Played anything interesting this week?
AFK Arenas. What else is anyone else playing?
You know, if there's someone out there, write in. Doesn't matter when you hear this, write in if you're playing AFK Arenas. But those are not the mobile games that we are talking about today. I guess I could have just called it a game. Today, we are creating something new. Every week, We Are Not Game Devs will create a new, exciting video game idea that we have always wanted to play, but do not have any knowledge or know-how to create the wonderful experience that is video games. And today is my turn to present our 136th IP. And I will begin with the basic concept of, I'm really excited about this idea. I want to make a game in which it's a very, very fancy character creator that will have a creators page so that people who are into creating characters can do so. You can also get rated on characters, and then I want there to be an internal marketplace where you can sell characters or even get commissions, and then those can be imported into RPGs. So if you want someone that looks exactly like you to a fault, this game is going to be able to do that. If you want to make characters or make very detailed characters, it's going to be able to do that and then export them to your favorite games. What do you think here? Cool idea, huh? I think so. I'm proud.
Okay. The first thing I could think of for this, definitely PC only. The reason why I say that is because mods exist, and so this is possible.
Yes.
In consoles, I shouldn't say video games. Sorry. In consoles, the only way I see this possibly working is if it was Sony exclusive or Microsoft Xbox exclusive, where all their first party games, you can do this. But even that, I don't think it's possible because they would all have to run on the same engine. They would all have to talk to Sony, and Sony would have to make this product or this app or whatever on a PS5, where from that app, it talks to the other games to import the character. But then it would maybe some third part, you know what I mean? Like, it gets a little complicated. But what were you going to say? Do you have an elegant solution to consoles?
I think that we could make this ubiquitous across the industry the same way Unreal Engine is across the industry. That if we make this the gold standard of character creations, other games might want to base their character creations on what we have and the set and the tools, and then maybe we would be able to sell the licenses that way as well.
I mean, I don't know anything about game development, but I just don't think that's possible. Like, if we created
we are not game devs.
Right, but if we were to create an engine, I don't think that engine would be able to talk to Unreal, would be able to talk to I mean, this is how much I don't know. Unreal is the only one I can name right now. Fucking Fox. Frickin'
Frostbite,
Death Stranding's one, or that's Gorilla's, which is Cry. No, Cry is
Crytek.
Crytek is Valve, isn't it? Anyway, that being said, I don't think it's just technology possible to have. That's like,
but. We'll just say if we could do it and then proceed from there. Because the thing is, there's RPG Maker, where you can make RPGs and then send them to people.
Right.
So
but then there's like licensing, license.
But people sell mods all the time. So I'm just saying it's a thing that's possible.
Right. But I'm
You're
just
saying
saying
it's
that
complicated.
it's definitely possible on PC, no problem, because of mods. You know, like that's.
And I'm not, yeah. And I think maybe we could get it to work on Xbox as well. If you buy it on the Microsoft Store, use it there, you can send those characters over. Microsoft always likes to play.
Even still, I don't think Microsoft is going to be cool with you being like, all right.
You're such a wet blanket, Jay.
I'm just saying, here is Halo.
We're not even out the gate.
You're playing as Master Chief, right? And
he doesn't take off his helmet anyway. That's not fair.
You can play with Alex Gonzalez or whatever, and it's like not even any armor on him or anything. Like you're just running around Halo.
So
as this guy.
I think you're taking this to a logical extreme. What I'm talking about is in Demon's Soul, when you're trying to create a character, you would be able to import one from the game that we created.
Okay.
Just like if you were to be playing something like Cyberpunk, you would be able to import that. Now, how far the features would go would depend on the implementation. It would be on our side. Would it just maybe be a face? Would it be the arms too? It depends on how far the game allows it to be done.
So you're saying you're
right.
only going to allow this on games where there is a character creator function.
Absolutely, yeah.
Well,
why
you said all games?
You can't just.
So I was like,
well, I mean, all games where there's a character creator.
Like you go into Super Smash
you
Bros.
Can't,
and you replace all the characters with Pokemon.
No.
Gotcha.
So okay, that makes a little bit more sense of where your reaction was, because I was like, damn, he's just taking a fat old shit on my game right now.
Like, I just don't get it. Like, how is this gonna work?
I was like, why is he acting so incredulous? No. So it would only be a game where a character creator was there.
Okay.
Now, what I want to do to make it funner is, like you said, we'll do mods, we'll do stuff like that. I want there to also be little tweaks that we could add into the game that others couldn't. For instance, that there would be extra modifications, more hair, more eyebrows, more eyes. There would be arms where they're prosthetics, leg prosthetics, different kinds of prosthetics. I want there to be all kinds of things, different frames. There's not a lot of glasses choices, if you've ever noticed. They don't really give you a lot to choose from. I would want stuff like that where even you could input individual hairs if you want to go in so far to do so. Or I also want there to be another setting where it simplifies character creation but adds more detail anyway than you would normally get.
Okay. Just to go back to the original issue I had with it.
Oh, no.
The way I could, just for argument's sake, we just magically make this be able to happen. It just works.
Yes. Okay.
The way that we have to go about it is when you open up Cyberpunk 2077, you get to the character creator, and there's like a little on the bottom of the screen that you could press triangle, import from whatever we're naming this, character creator pro or whatever, right? And
there we go.
And then it inserts the character that you put in from the character creator. But what this game will do is choose the features that's possible on that character creator, the closest to that thing. So it's like taking a picture of your face with a Kinect in NBA or whatever, and it trying to match it. But the thing is, eventually, once we do come out with this game, more and more game companies will eventually adopt more similar ways that our game software, whatever you want to call it, does. And then it would just be a more smoother transition. But for now,
I was just thinking that they could import save data, almost like loading.
I get it, but like for Cyberpunk,
I don't want there to be a camera to take a picture of someone.
No, there's no camera. Worked. I'm just saying that's like it's similar to that process where it's like scanning your character data that you built in this app and then putting it in the game. Because right now, in Cyberpunk 2077, let's say we come out with this and you could do a detailed character build. If you try to bring that over to Cyberpunk won't be able to do it because that model just doesn't exist in their game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it would mesh. It would be where they would talk to each other, and then it would
just try to pick and choose the closest characteristics to that model in that you
exactly. So the software would autofill where it can.
Picture. That's where that reference came in.
Okay, because that makes more sense because I was like, man, all those picture things suck.
But you know what I'm saying? It'll just try to
I do
choose
now.
something
Yes.
close to what you created in the app. But
Yes.
we'll close that section where that's how they speak to each other for now until more developers adopt a similar character creator to what we have. Then that obviously means we also have to have a genitals editor in this app because some games now have that.
Oh, yeah.
Like Cyberpunk and Conan.
I think, yeah. You can have genitals. Put them in.
So this game's rated X, A, whatever it's called. AO?
Cyberpunk isn't.
Oh, that's
Cyberpunk
true.
isn't.
That is
Neither's
true.
Conan.
But you don't see it that often. Well, I guess, whatever. Yeah.
I mean,
Continue.
We're not going to
Let's
have. I'm only laughing because I guess it wasn't in my game, but a lot of people got dildos, and they were seeing a lot of fake dicks everywhere.
I see a lot of anal beads.
Interesting. Moving on. So this is going to be a little bit different of a game to play. I don't know I don't know what a story mode would even look like in this game.
I don't think there would be one. I think there would be a general tutorial, and then it'll be just open for you from there on. Real quick before we go on, is this going to be like you have this puppet, right? And it's just like a white frame of a human being, and then is it going to be like Sims where we have a bunch of palettes for you to just swap eyes, swap lips, face shapes, and then you could then zoom in, and then you could pull and push on the skin.
Exactly.
So it's going to be a hybrid like Sims where they give you a template, but you also get to mold the face how you kind of want it.
Exactly. And you can go as deep as you want. And I want it to go as deep where I told you can place individual hairs, where you can take out hairs out of an eyebrow and pluck or place.
I like it. To further on that, what we could also do in terms of what the game is, I've been trying to rack that in my mind of what you're actually doing in this game. And how I see it is it's not a game per se. It's more like this is for you to create characters and what I imagine it to be like.
And a marketplace for these characters as well.
Okay, yeah, for sure. But what I imagine it to be like, there's two things I imagine. The first thing is we put in fully rendered 3D spaces. And the idea is you could model your NPCs in these social places. So we'll have like themed bars, we'll have beaches, we'll have hotels, we'll have different eras and stuff where you could just
that's a good idea.
Set it up and just put your NPCs around, and then you could walk around in first person as if it was a game, and you put these random NPCs in a beautifully CGI 3D social space, like at one instance where it's like a room or a beach or something like that, right? The second game quote unquote is like kind of like a crane game where it'll be like a funny visual effect where it's a pile of just these bodies, and then you could just pick one out of the random, and it's just a internet based character that was made, and then you could edit it from there. And then maybe if you wanted, this is a little tacky, is have like try to make this NPC as close as you can in 10 minutes. And then you and another person has to like try and create a character to kind of match a photo. But those are the three modes I kind of generated while we were talking about this. What do you think?
I like that. I like the characters in a setting. I think it's cool to even animate what they're doing. That way you would see different poses instead of just a T pose that you would normally see. And that way it would be easier to sell. It would also I like all those ideas. I think we should implement those and have that artist marketplace where if like let's say I could imagine you making a bar and creating characters that would all be in a bar, maybe in a certain era. Maybe another of your characters would be pirates. And you would be able to go from there.
I just got a great idea.
Okay, good. Because I was worried. I was like, I hope someone didn't just bust down your front
No,
door. The shock that you had, I was like,
I've
oh.
had a great idea on how to tell a story. We could have.
How do we do this?
Let's do like a Doctor Who-esque time travel-y type of story where you're like a time traveler and you go back in time and then you move forward and we tell a story with this, right? How we do it is we give you that 3D open space that we create for them, a beautifully rendered space. And the first one, it's going to be like create one character. You create the character and then you place it on this map. And then that character will start moving. It will have voice acting and stuff. And the next scene happens. Create 3 characters. You could keep that character you created originally for the first page. That's your main character. And then like a couple other characters. And they start interacting with each other and having lines and talking. And then the next scene, create 5 characters. Create 6 characters, 7, 8, 9. And then eventually you'll have like all these different characters that you could put as NPCs as the main character, and we'll start telling a story with these characters you created. And at any time you could interchange these, but if you create the main character and you want him to stay as the main character, he's going to be in the main character spot, but you could move him to an NPC character that's just in the background while you already created like maybe a better looking model and you want that guy to be the main character. He'll have the same voice, but he'll look different. And you could watch this scene in 3D and then you can move around and maybe some NPCs are having side conversations. And that way, all the animations that they're doing, like walking and talking, drinking, laughing, all that stuff, it's built into wherever you place these created characters that you've had. Do you kind of understand what I'm trying to say? Like they're puppet spaces that you put your built characters in, and then it automatically moves. Like we already put in all the animations and stuff.
Yeah. I see where you're going with this. I like it. I think it's perfect in what you're doing, and that way it can get almost. This would be a game now that it would pique my interest more if it gave me more guidance, and that's what I wanted for someone who was new to this kind of character creation, while also kind of giving them inspiration. All right, so what type of music are we looking for here? I was thinking, besides the music of the levels that is pre-themed, very normal, non-stressful. I almost want chill music, something that people can create to, but it's not going to get in the way, but it's also going to be pleasant.
Yeah, I think the story that we tell in terms of the set pieces where you could interchange all your characters, I think there will be a narrative story and some action scenes and stuff where the music will change. But I just imagine kind of like a orchestrate soundtrack, right? And then when you go back after you're done playing the story mode, you could either continue doing that, or each scene in the story mode is just a still. And you could then at that point you could place characters wherever you want, and then you could assign them certain NPCs animations, and then they'll do whatever is already in the game. And then maybe as DLC we could add more animations and stuff where you do the free play section. And in this free play section, you'll have a list of soundtracks from the game, which is the orchestrate soundtrack, and you'll also have some additional random elevator menu screen kind of music just to play in the background type of thing.
And yeah, we'll even have it where you can change songs as you're doing your character creation. That works fantastic. All right. So, pricing. How much are you willing to pay here? Off the cuff, I would say this isn't going to be a $60 game. I am thinking For some reason, $40 is what's coming to mind. 30 seems a little low, only because the graphics are, I think, going to be superb, right?
Yeah. I think this is going to be
Like it's not even a discussion.
order 1887 levels of this many pixels, but looks more like Last of Us Part 2. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
what I also imagine, so at first, before we had the story elements, I thought this was just going to be free, if not $10. But because of the story element to it, I think we could definitely mark this at 40 with free updates, more animations.
Oh, yeah.
More just template everything, like
Hair
eyebrows,
textures,
eyes,
yeah.
body shapes, clothing, even. Maybe even as DLC, we could add a clothing editor, unless you want that baked in, where you could just make your own clothes, even.
I think it would be limited in support and we would add more and more. Same thing with body shapes. There's a million different body shapes, but we'd keep adding different ones, or maybe we would add more as templates as we see different people creating like our user data comes back and we're like, okay, so people keep making one of these.
Yeah.
We need to add in muffin tops that look this way.
But also just have just development, not development, sorry, just like you said, a marketplace, I guess, where it's just everyone's stuff is just open to you as well.
Yeah. And then if people want to sell their things, they can do that as well.
Yeah.
All right, Jay, it's time to start your timer because it's time to name this game.
Go.
Character Creator Pro.
Either that or build your character.
I like your first idea.
Character Creator Pro, I guess.
In negative seconds, because we did it at the beginning of the episode.
That was 12 and 30 by the end of that conversation.
All right. Character Creator Pro is a game in which you get to create the most fantastical characters ever made. Whether it's inputting individual hair follicles into an eyebrow, adjusting the nose hairs inside of the nose, taking eyeballs and making them thinner, longer, adjusting fat, adding stretch marks. All of these things will be possible in Character Creator Pro. You can also make different dioramas where you can showcase your characters, share them with friends, and even make some available to purchase. Character Creator Pro.
I'm going to be honest.
You'll be able to...
You're going to have to vamp here. I really have to pee. I'll be right back.
All right. As he laughs. So on top of that, with Character Creator Pro, another thing that Jay's not going to find out is I wanted to add another feature where you would be able to take your 3D character and convert them to 2D or 2.5D sprites. And then you would be able to take sprites that are quite simple and then up-res them to 3D. Now, is this going to be one-to-one? Definitely not. But I think it would be a very fun feature that would allow you to think outside the box, and maybe we could have a couple of RPGs where when you design your characters, you can go ahead and import these characters right in. I think it would be a wonderful part just so that you could add different things to it. Because I don't know about you guys out there, but my body shape is very rarely represented. Stocky, little pudgy, little muscular, athletic, all the way here. All right, Jay. So I think we have a game here. Would this be a game you'd want to play, and is it fun?
I'm curious what you talked about while I was gone.
I implemented another feature. You'll find out in post.
Cool. Honestly, probably not. I probably wouldn't buy this for $40. Maybe if it came free eventually with PS Plus or something like that, probably wouldn't get it just because I'm already stressed out about the regular character creator. I don't want even more in-depth one where I have to pick everything down to the hair follicle, you know? But I would like the idea of it. Maybe I'll do it and then have some maybe what I would do is pay someone to create me. But besides that, I wouldn't go much further.
Yeah. I think I would play this game. I'd probably buy it. For the most part, I use presets in games because I get really frustrated with character creation. I think it takes too much time. So I would want there to be a certain character artist that I follow that I like so that I could purchase his or her characters, or like you said, input my own, as well as put in my dog, Cora.
Maybe we could have a free version of this where you can just download maybe 1 or 2 character data or whatever to be.
Or it's just the marketplace. Yeah. I like that. Now that we have a complete game, what game studio would you assign to be able to make Character Creator Pro the best?
I feel like the first obvious one, but this would go against everything we argued about at the beginning of this. Mediamako, just because they would only do Sony pretty much. But Mediamako, I mean, they already know how to do this type of development with the marketplace sharing and all that with Dreams, and they already have this is what they do, is creation tools in video games. I think they could do something cool with it. It'd be Dreams, but more focused.
So my first one would be Valve. They're a giant. They could implement this into a lot of their games, and then they could also do Steam implementation as well as do Steam Store. And I think it would be just something running in the background that would be really fun.
Yeah. See, I have a similar train of thought where I would give it to Epic, where Epic could do.
That was the other one that I was going to name. So cool.
I mean, they also,
we're on the same page.
Like Valve, have a game engine of their own that everyone uses. So
yeah. So we know exactly what we're trying to do here. That's fantastic. And then, from there you would be able to implement it like in Valve, you'd be able to implement it into its fun games, as well as Epic. You could maybe see it going into Fortnite if you wanted to create characters for that. And with that, our 136th IP has gone gold. We hope you look forward to this experience that will probably never release. You can write to @poundgames@gmail.com if you have anything to patch into the game we created today. Also, give us feedback. We are still learning how to make this show better, and your feedback really helps. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to back our ideas, please head over to patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. Patrons receive episodes 2 days early and an extra podcast at the beginning, which you caught the tail end of our conversation at the beginning of this episode. That's patreon.com/wearenotgamedevs. If you liked our show, why not subscribe and give us all the stars on Apple Podcasts, Google Play Store, Spotify, YouTube, and more. And if they ask for a review, instead of reviewing our show, become your inner game critic and review Character Creator Pro, the video game we just created today. Thank you for joining us. We'll be back next Friday with another new IP. Again, I'm AG.
And I'm J.E.
Thank you, and please remember that we are not game devs.
I've had a lot of coffee today, man. And if you drink coffee, you gotta go pee.
Oh yeah. Did it smell like Folgers in your cup in the toilet?
Oh yeah, that's the weirdest thing, right? When you go pee after a lot of coffee, and it's just like,
yeah.
Man, this is the weirdest smelling coffee I've ever smelled in my life because it's your pee, it's urine.